So you want to lose weight in 2026. There's a few things you should be doing. There's a few things that you will do and you will succeed. And there's many little things that you will have to change in your daily life. But that doesn't mean it's going to be hard. And the last thing you want is for it to actually be hard. You want it to be easy to lose weight. Now, you may have seen a bunch of videos saying consistency over the long term, and you may be wanting something now, um, but to really lose weight fast is going to be hard. Now, I'm currently losing weight, and I've lost about 20 pounds in just under 2 months, and it's not easy. But would I suggest it? No, I wouldn't suggest dieting the way I have. I'm going to obviously suggest what I will be explaining in this video. And the first big thing for being successful at losing weight and becoming healthy is by changing your mindset, really changing how you think. Now, to lose weight, like I said, it doesn't need to be hard. You just need to be consistent and you want it to be easy because people don't really want to do hard things, especially at first, but things will always get easier. So, what you should do is set up better systems for yourself so that you can succeed, so that it's easier to be consistent and it's harder to make bad choices because motivation comes and goes. You may be motivated right now, and that's why you're watching this video, but in 2 hours, you might lose that motivation or you might still have it. But what you should be doing is probably taking some notes just so you can have an idea and a rough start on how to succeed. So, what you should be doing is making healthy choices. Now, it's easier said than done. Everyone knows I should be making healthier choices. I should eat fruits instead of chips. Now, something like that consistently will make a huge difference on your physique and on your health. So, what you could do is keep bad food items out of sight so that you will forget about them. Um, that is by putting chips up into a cupboard or away behind things so that they're less tempting to eat. Now, if that's not the case and you know they're there, like how I am, I know they're there, I'm gonna want them. So I gradually just stopped buying chips. And that's always going to be harder said than done. But at least knowing that you should not eat them is a great start. Um, and some other things you can do is like have water on your desk or water in your bag or in your car or next to you every morning. You should be drinking water every morning because you wake up and you just slept and haven't had any water for a while. You should, obviously have water before you drink coffee or any type of soda or energy drinks, just so that you are hydrated. You don't want to be dehydrated because being dehydrated is gonna really slow you down from losing weight. Another thing you can do is meal prep. See, I meal prep. I cook my dinner every night, but my lunch I cook it every 2 days because I make enough for uh, the next day and then the day after. And that takes a lot of hassle out of my life, just having it ready and having not to cook every day. I do have to cook every day, but it's just something that makes it a little easier for me to do and not have to worry about. And setting yourself up, what you could do is actually set your gym clothes up. If you want to start working out, then you should set your gym clothes up every morning so that you can just put them on and go to the gym or whatever your routine is going to be. But a good thing would to try to go at the same time every day or as often as you can or as often as you want, just so then you can gradually build that habit. What you could also do is track your wins. So you should be using positive reinforcement to give yourself a mental boost because weight loss is going to be a long journey, and takes a long time to get to where you may want to be. But what you should do is track your wins, track uh, every day that you eat well, and if you don't eat well, that's okay. What you should try to do is just baby steps. How I lost weight was I went from eating unhealthy every meal every day to just trying to incorporate one healthy meal. So every morning when I had the most willpower, what I would eat is I would have some yogurt with some strawberries, a protein shake, and a can of chicken. Now, this is not exactly what you have to do, but this is what I still currently do every day for my breakfast. Same thing every day. I just eat that. It's nice because it also takes, the my mental energy out of it. I don't have to wake up and worry, what do I want to eat today? That's what I eat and I'm okay with it. And it also feels like I'm kind of rewarding myself because I personally love yogurt with strawberries. So it's like I get to have a snack first thing in the morning. What you could do is, some people like to get like I think it's called a Ninja Creamy, and they get to have like a protein ice cream at the end of the night by using maybe like low fat milk or even like almond milk or whatever substitute, and like some type of like protein powder they can put into it. I don't really know because that's not something I do, but that's something you can look into and do to treat yourself, and it's also a healthy option. And you should make food that you enjoy because if you don't enjoy it and if it's hard, it's going to be extremely hard to stick to. You want it to be easy and you want it to be something you can do in the long run, because dieting is more of the lifestyle that is what's going to change you. Just being on a diet is not going to, you know, it's going to work. It will make you lose weight, but keeping it off is the big thing. So it's really more of having a mindset shift to where instead of I'm on a diet, I'm someone who eats healthier. I'm someone who's more self-conscious about what I eat, what I'm putting into my body, or what I have in my house. And that's why, some people who are very like you may be athletic or someone who you want to look like, you might think they have better discipline. Which, they might, but most of the time they just are in less tempting situations. They have, less chips in their house. They go to like McDonald's less because at the end of the day, what's easier? Not going to McDonald's or going to McDonald's and not getting something unhealthy or a bunch of, food that you shouldn't eat. So really that's what I think it comes down to is just, staying out of these tempting situations. So when you eat, you should be trying to get protein in first, just so then you are filling up on healthy foods instead of like trying to get chips in or eating fries first because protein is more satiating, so you will be able to eat and lose weight instead of eating a bunch of like carbs and chips and junk food and then end up not even wanting to eat protein, because everyone knows protein is going to help you build muscle, which is good because that's going to actually help you burn calories. So, what you should try to do is try to eat healthy 80% of the time. So that means, if you're gonna eat 3 healthy meals a day, you could have like one unhealthy snack, and you should slowly try to like, change those ratios. So at first, if you're eating completely unhealthy, like I was, I was 100 unhealthy to 0% healthy, and then so slowly switched to one healthy meal, and then I switched to 2 healthy meals and 3 healthy meals a day, and then I kept one unhealthy meal. Which, for example, what I was doing was I was eating my breakfast I said earlier, and I would have ground chicken nuggets with some seasoning for lunch and some ketchup and a can of vegetables. And then for dinner, I would have chicken breast and a can of vegetables. And then for my other unhealthy meal, which will be my fourth meal, I think I had like a box of Kraft mac and cheese. But then I slowly stopped eating that. And then I I completely eat healthily. So that's how I did it. I did it in steps. I didn't try to do it like one day, then 2 days, eat healthy. It wasn't back to back. It was like I would eat one healthy meal for like 2 weeks, and then slowly throughout those 2 weeks try to eat second healthy meal consistently. And then by the end of like 2 weeks, it was every day. And then I tried working on the third one. So I just made it easy for myself. I set myself up for success. And then I was strength training, and I still am strength training. I work out uh, every day of the week. I try to work out every day of the week. I wake up and I try to go to the gym first thing. Um, but you can work out 2 to 4 times a week. Just strength training is really good for you. It's gonna help, keep muscle mass, potentially put on muscle mass while you're dieting, and that will help you just feel better. You're gonna get a mental boost from working out. You're gonna be able to burn more calories, and that exercise is gonna help you be able to get more of a margin of how many calories you can consume in that day, so you'll be able to eat a little bit more. Um, and the thing is, people think that they need to do a bunch of hit cardio. Like hit cardio is gonna be the best way to burn fat. The best way to burn fat, like I keep saying, is being consistent. You have to be consistent. If you want to be healthy, it's all about consistency. Anything in life is about consistency. So I think daily movement is better than hit cardio throughout the week. I think you should build up to try to do 1 minute of walking on the treadmill a day or walking 1 minute outside. Try to build up. If you only can walk 1 minute outside a week or on the weekends, that's okay. And then try to get a little longer, a little further every other week until, you don't have to push yourself and always be walking, but just find your healthy balance, and just work off of that and just see how your body goes. But you don't have to go crazy because health is all about the long run. Yes, you can work a little harder to get it off sooner, but it's all about keeping it off. So I think a good idea would try to be to get 8 to 10,000 steps a day. And that leads us to sleep and stress, where that is going to play a major role on how fast you can lose weight. When it comes to sleeping, I really recommend sleeping in a dark room. If you have to get like blackout curtains and turn off, like, if you sleep with a TV on, turn it off. If you have LED lights in your room, maybe put them to red and like your lowest brightness, because the color in how bright your room is going to be is going to, determine maybe how well you sleep. Some people just sleep in better rooms, while, if you can't sleep in the dark, then, you know, being able to sleep with the light on is your only option. So that's just what you have to do. But also having a cooler temperature in your room. I like to sleep with a cooler temperature. Some people get to sleep with warmer temps, but you try to figure out what you work with because everyone's different. So that's all it comes down to. And a major thing is going to be doom scrolling. I do not doom scroll before I try to go to sleep. I actually turn off all screens an hour to an hour and a half before bed. I like to, well, not all screens. I actually have a Kindle that I read on, and that's what I like to do. I like to read like fantasy stories or mythology, Greek mythology specifically, before bed. I like that better than like self-help books because I find that when I read self-help books, it actually motivates me, and then I start thinking about what I could be doing to improve my life, and then I end up having to write it down because my mind's racing at a million miles an hour and I can't sleep. So if you're going to be reading self-help books, I recommend doing that earlier before bed. And then when it comes to the stress side of things, obviously having a less stressful life is a major thing that is going to benefit you because, your cortisol levels will be lower with less stress, which will help you put on muscle and lose fat. So that's something very important. And not only is it's going to help with heart health and just life in general. So in 2026, I actually am trying to remove stressful things from my life, like stressful conversations and just mentally taxing like conversations specifically. Just talking about, just whatever you have to do, whatever you can see in your life that's going to be bringing you stress. And if you can control it or try to stay away from it, doing that will help improve the quality of your life. Like I don't try to talk bad about people. I don't want to be in drama anymore. I don't want to have to worry about things that, or even be stressed about things that I shouldn't be stressed about because I just already have the mindset of I know I'm not going to be stressed about it in like a month or a year. So why should I be stressed about it now? Things are just gonna happen as they happen. Um, and I recommend before bed actually writing. So for me, that has helped with my stress and helped me sleep because I kind of write down what's been on my mind, what I did that day, what my plans are, what my goals are for that week or that month or that 3 month quarterly period of time, what I plan on doing tomorrow. Just write things down, but you don't have to overdo it to where it feels like a job. That's the last thing you want it to be, is feel like a job, because then it's going to be hard and you're not going to want to do it anymore. Um, but you don't even have to write every night. You don't have to do anything every day. It's just trying to build up to where you want to be and how fast you want to change in life. So uh, what I like to do to actually improve and to work on being able to change is I like to use the My Fitness Pal app, and that helps me actually track my calories. Now, this is not sponsored or anything. You can use any like uh, calorie tracking app or fitness tracking app you like. I like to use My Fitness Pal, and I've made meals that I eat because I eat the same thing every day, and I've done that for almost 2 months now. I've eaten the same thing every day. So at this point, after doing it for like 3 weeks, I realized, like I do it every day or I eat the same thing every day. I don't really need to track anymore. Now, this is very important in the beginning because you may not be tracking that, like you had a little bit of, uh, like a little bit of a coffee in the morning that has, like all this sweetener in it, um, all these like high fructose corn syrup, uh, and you may even have like a muffin and you don't even realize that could be like 700 calories just like from that. And then if you eat your breakfast on top of that, that could be another 600 calories, and then your lunch and dinner and a snack at night. Tracking what you're eating is going to be very important in the beginning, just so you know like what's happening. And then making meals and like consistent meals is good because like if you can get it down to like four different breakfast meals that you have, like four different lunch meals, four different dinner meals, and then like a snack, you can after like a month, you can get down how many calories what is what, and then consistently how many calories you're consuming in a day on average between those different meal options throughout the week. So then you know where you're going and if you need to cut back more and what you need to switch up. Um, but yeah, like the real key to keeping weight off is going to be consistency and just making it easy for yourself, especially in the beginning. You don't want it to be brutal because then you won't, continue doing it. Um, and just understanding and kind of having that shift of, you're not on a diet. This is, potentially your new way of life, and this is just you being a healthy person. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be eating this way forever. It could be, just that's how you want to eat to lose a certain amount of weight, and then you can kind of figure out how many calories you need to consume to maintain that weight, and you don't have to eat what you've been eating. Um, like today, I actually had a slice of cheese pizza and little sandwich, a little turkey sandwich, and that's because I've done good for the past 2 weeks. Two weeks ago, I had a slice of pizza. And then before that, I've had some popcorn. But what I would do is I would actually cut back over a few days my calorie intake so that I make room for these food items, just so that I'm not going off track. Um, and I just set like little goals for myself. So like, um, me personally, on February 1st, I plan on having some Chinese food. So, and I tell myself, I'm only gonna do that if I can stay consistent until then. So, that's just something I look forward to, just to keep me sane. And I personally love diet soda. That helps keep me sane. I drink. caffeine-free Diet Coke, and that's helped me so much. But yeah, it's just all about finding a way that you can like naturally support the weight you want to be at and not have to, make it brutal. And even if you consume, you know, extra calories like once every 2 weeks because you might go out to dinner, that's perfectly fine. That does not mean you're gonna gain all your weight back. It's all about just being consistent with the little things.